everybody. Okay. So I'm sure some of you have already checked. This morning I've sent the record of your previous exercise to you. This is the one. I only generate, you can see from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for you only. But actually you have done more than that. I think it's about 20. But then because some of you enter the school and then you change classes and so on, so I ignore some of those that change classes, the exercise that related to that lah, and some of the students that enter late also. So the earlier part, I also don't take it. So these basically are the most important chapters that I have generated, and hopefully you please, not hopefully you please try to complete everything. For example, the first one here, Ahmad Dawisi, he missed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of it. Okay, but then some of you have done very well. You completed everything. For example, Alicia completed everything. Alia, Emilia, also Alisa, Sophia, Andre, and some of you also completed everything down here. Okay, which is very good. So for those who have a lot of blank, like this one, Dayang, Masha, Adena, seems like you are lost. I don't know where is your result over here. I can't find anything. Okay, but then some of you also, those with blank, I just updated now, so you don't be like you be shocked. Why I finished this already, but then my marks is not recorded. For example, one Attila just now, I just jot down that you have done the positive and negative decimal over here. So actually you have done all of this except for a few. Okay, so you check on your own. I want you to complete everything because this part here, I'm going to record down as your PBD result. You know PBD, right? Okay, pentak siram bilik darjah. Yes. So make sure you do it. Don't take it as like not serious. Okay, make sure you're serious about it. Okay, so before I continue with our lesson, I have the 29 students over here, which is quite little for today. So I want you to take your attendance first. I'm going to do this one. Some of you have already turned in. Take your attendance now, class. One person already take the attendance. Who is it? Hani Akila. Okay, so please do so while waiting for the rest. I give you about 1 minute time. You go to your GC, take your attendance. Okay, 1 minute time while waiting for the rest to enter the Google Meet right now.
Done, madam.
Okay. Okay, more have turned in now. So
Done, teacher.
Okay, I'm going to start the discussion with the previous exercise because I noticed some of you don't know how to solve certain part, especially question number 3. So I'm going to go through one by one. We look at question number 1 here. The numbers 1, 4, 9, 16 are perfect square. Hopefully you still remember what we have learned last week. Not last week, in the last lesson regarding the squares, the perfect squares, and also the square roots. Okay, so 1, 4, 9, 16 are perfect square. State the subsequent perfect square. When they ask you to state the subsequent means yang seterusnya. Okay, after 16, we have 25. Hopefully you still know this is 1 squared, 4 is 2 squared, 9 is 3 squared, 16 is 4 squared. So to get 25, I have 5 squared here. 6 squared, the answer is 36. 7 squared, the answer is 49. Correct. 8 squared, it is 64. 9 squared, it is 81. The answer for the last one here is 100. Okay, these are all the perfect square. Okay, perfect square. So we continue with question number 2 here. Copy and complete each of the following. So they gave you the first multiplication already. 5 times 5 equal to 25. Thus, square root of 25 is equal to 5 times 5. You fill in here. Okay, but then what is the final answer? You can see the final answer is without the square root sign, which means it is equal to square root. Square root, you don't have to write the 2. Square root of 5 squared. Cancel, the answer is supposed to be 5. A lot of you made mistake over here. Okay, so question B now. 8 times 8 is 64. Square root of 64 is the square root of 8 times 8. Same thing for the final answer is actually 8 only. Okay, and the last one, 24 squared equal to 576. Thus, square root of 576 is like this. Square root of 576, you can add on square root of 576 is equal to the square root of 24 squared. So I fill in 24 and a squared here. Cancel the square root with the square. The answer is 34. Okay, you got to make use of the square root and the square. If they didn't show you anything, you got to think, how are you going to get the answer for the final one? Now we move to question number 3. This is the most problematic for the rest that I noticed. That's why I gave you the example over here. So you can see the example, they show you with the question 196. Okay, the prime factorization of 196 is 2 times 2 times 7 times 7. So that's why they have this.
Teacher,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was lost connection just now.
Oh, doesn't matter. You can refer back to the video later on. So
Okay.
we just carry on because we cannot wait for you. Okay, so still remember this part, we have to do the identical grouping. You remember that last week we did that, meaning that you have to look for the same number and then you group them into 2 groups. Okay, we call this identical group. So 2 times 7, you group them together. Another 2 times 7, you group them at the back. So the result for the product for 2 times 7 is 14 times 14. Thus, 196 is a perfect square because 196 is actually equal to 14 squared. Okay, now we refer to question number 1 here. So to fill in the first text box is actually 3 times 3. We get a 9 up here. How to get 15 is a 3 times 5, or you can write down 5 times 3. Okay, I've already said the answer. You can write down as 5 times 3 too, which also will be accepted. Okay, so 135, you follow what we have over here. 135 is the multiplication of 3 times 3 times 3 times 5. Okay, you write down all of this. But then because we cannot group them into 2 identical groups, therefore 135 is not a perfect square. Okay, I show you another example of 225 down here. So hopefully you will be able to do the 144 later. I'll show you the 225. So to get 9, it is 3 times 3. This is 5 times 5. So 225, you can write down it is 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. After that, group them into the identical group. So it's supposed to be in bracket 3 times 5 multiply 3 times 5. Or you can write down 5 times 3 times 5 times 3. So 3 times 5 is actually 15 times 15. So when you can see these two numbers are the same, meaning 225 is a perfect square. Okay, so that is on how to do question number 3. I move on to question number 4. Okay, determine whether each of the following number is a perfect square. So 44, what you need to do is by using the factor 3 just now to find out whether it's a perfect square. Okay, 2 times 22 is 44. So 2 is the lowest prime number already. We are going to continue with this part. 2 times 11 is 22. So from here, we cannot group them into 2 identical groups. Therefore, 44 is not a perfect square. Okay, 100, the answer is yes, because 10 times 10 is 100. 214, no, it's not a perfect square. 324, it is a perfect square. Okay, if you got your answer wrong, make sure you go and check what happened and how to get the correct answer. Okay, don't just let it be. After you press the finish button, you get your mark. Oh, that's all. Okay, make sure next time when you do any mistake, because we learn from mistake, so you got to check how to get the answer, the correct answer. Okay, so that's all about the previous exercise. So we move on to what we are going to learn today, which is how to determine the square of a number. Okay, so you can see this part here. We can determine the square of a number by multiplying the number itself. You multiply it itself. Okay, so example number 3. Find the value of each of the following without using a calculator. Okay, so we look at 6 squared. This one is in your textbook. Example 3, I think it's in page 52. Okay, Find the following without using calculator. So remember this word when they say no calculator, meaning that you have to show your working. Okay, so for the first question here, 6 squared is equal to 6 times 6. So it is equal to 36. That's the answer. Okay, teacher will know whether you use a calculator or not now sometimes, because if you don't show the working of 6 times 6, you move forward to 36, you won't get any mark for that, because in the question already they ask you to use without using calculator and find the value. So you must have 6 times 6 in order for you to get full marks. Okay, for part B here, 3 over 4 squared, the fraction, the square of a fraction, simple. 3 over 4 squared meaning that you multiply 3 over 4 with 3 over 4. You can show with a bracket like this, or you also can show without the bracket by using 3 over 4 times 3 over 4 like this. Okay, so 3 times 3 is equal to 9. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. So the answer is 9 over 16. That is simple for these fractions. After that, we move to C, negative 0.5 squared. So this one, because we have a negative sign, negative 0.5 times negative 0.5. Okay, why do I have to put in bracket? If I don't put in bracket, you see, there will be a how to say, you will be confused about the multiplication and negative later on. It will look like this. So multiply a negative. If you understand, then no problem. But some students, they don't understand. But so usually we have to put a bracket for a negative number. Okay, so clearly stated that there is an operation in between. So we want to separate, we want to differentiate these two operations. This one is multiplication. This one is a negative, not subtraction. Okay, so that's the purpose. We put them in bracket. Okay, so negative times negative, hopefully you still remember, negative times negative is positive. So we don't have to write the positive here. Okay, 0.5 times 0.5 is equal to 0.25. How do I get that? I show it to you right now so that you get used to it next time. I'm sure you have done the multiplication in your primary school. 0.5 times 0.5. 5 times 5, 25. 0 times 0 is 0. How to get the decimal places? This is 1 decimal places. This is 2 decimal places. So I'm going to move from the back, 1, 2. So we will have 0.25. Okay, that is why when you multiply with a number, a decimal number with 1 decimal places, you will get the answer of 2 decimal places. If you multiply a decimal with 2 decimal places, then it double up. You will get 4 decimal places. 2, 5 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's easy because you have 1, 2, 1, 2. Altogether, 4 decimal places. Okay, that is example 3. Now I add on another question regarding the fraction. If I have a mixed number like this, I ask you to get the square of a mixed number. Can you think of what to do here? First step, you cannot write like this, 1 over 2 times 1 over 2. That's not correct. When it comes to fraction, you have to change it into improper fraction first. So the improper fraction of 1 over 2 is 3 over 2. 3 over 2 times 3 over 2. That's the meaning here. 3 over 2. I write down the other way around. Okay, then you can continue with the multiplication. 3 times 3, 9. 2 times 2, 4. Then you can simplify. The answer becomes a mixed number. So it is 2, 1 over 4. Hopefully you know how do I change it to this. I change it to this because I divide 9 divided by 4. 4 to 8 and remaining is 1. So it is 2, 1 over 4. Somebody, Valerie, you need to turn off your mic. Okay,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We can hear the ayam berkokok already. Okay, let's move on to example 4. Okay, this is example 4. Find the value of each of the following by using calculator. So now we are going to practice to use calculator. Everybody, you take out your calculator. Do you
Okay.
all have your own calculator right now? I give you
Yes.
the second.
No.
Right. Catch your
Yes, I
calculator.
have.
Okay.
No.
No, never mind. You buy later on. You see how I do it first. So for those who have, you go and take your calculator now. Now I give you 30 seconds. You go and take your calculator. Okay, are you ready?
Yes. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's look at example 4 here. Find the value of each of the following by using a calculator. So if you look at your calculator here, I show it using my mouse here. Okay, this is the calculator. So basically what you are going to use here, can you see this button? X2. X to the power of 2. Yeah, that's
Yes.
the meaning of square. Okay, the square button. So when they ask you to find the value of the following by using a calculator, for 43 squared over here, you just press 4, 3 with this button here. Means to the power of 2 square. Then you press the equal sign, you will have the answer of 1849. Okay, this one, 1849. Can you get it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now we continue with the next one. In bracket, negative 7 over 13 to the power of 2. We can say it is squared or to the power of
Yes.
2. This one. Okay, last time I told you it's a squared, right? Squared. 43 squared. Or we can mention it or read it as 43 to the power of 2. Of 2. Okay, so let's check on how to do this. Now, before I start with everything, we are going to press this part here, 7 over 13. Hopefully, you know how to do that. So we on it first, by cancelling everything, you can press the on button or you can press the AC button. Okay, means you clear everything. So we are going to press 7 over 13. To press 7 over 13, we are going to make use of the A, B button. Let's see, where is it? How come I can't see it here? Okay, because this is a new calculator, so I cannot use the A stroke B button. I'm going to use this one. Can you see this one?
Yes.
Yes, right? Yeah, this is to represent the fraction. Okay, so once you press this, sometimes you are going to see this, or some of you are going to see the box given, 2 boxes. Okay, but then mine is like this. So what to do is you press 7 over 13 like this. So you can see 7 over 13. So this front part over here, I have to delete it by pressing the backspace, this button here. I can press the delete button. Okay, I show it to you one more time because mine is not clear. I cannot show you with both of these. So to press 7 over 13, I'm going to press 7 first, followed by this button here. If that is the old calculator, 13. Okay, so this button, you can make use of it by moving it to the left or to the right. So for example, I'm going to add on the bracket. You can see the bracket here. Press the bracket and I have a negative sign. So I'll choose the negative sign given in the button. So it becomes negative 7 over 13 here. I'm going to move my cursor to the back. So you use the right button, this one. Press it until the cursor moves to the back. Close the bracket. Are you all staying with me?
Yes.
Stay with me, no problem. Then you press the X squared button and you press the equal sign. So you will get 49 over 169. Okay, that is do it part by part. But now I show it to you again. We do it at one go. So to do it at one go is bracket, the negative sign, 7 over 13. Close the bracket, press the X squared button, press the equal sign. Okay, so yours who have this button with the numerator and denominator at the bottom is easier lah. You just insert using the arrow up and down. To insert the numerator, you use the arrow up. To insert the denominator, you use the down arrow. And then you just close the bracket and square it. No problem, right?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
So we continue with question C here, 2.96 squared. 2.96 squared is easy. What you need to do is just press the 2 and then the point and 96 and squared. So you see 2.96 squared. Then you get the equal sign. So the answer is 8.7616. Okay. You also can use other button, 8.7616. You also can use other button like this. Let me show it to you. Okay, I press the AC button one more time. I'm going to press 2.96. I also can use this button. Can you see this button? That is the X without anything. So I can press 2 here. Close the bracket and you get the same answer. Okay, so that is using the calculator. Now, are you okay with it?
Yes.
Okay.
We move on. We continue with the calculator later on. So next one, how do you determine the square root of a number? So this one, again, you have to learn to calculate without using calculator and with calculator. Again, you see, without using calculator. So again, you need to show you're working properly. So for square root of 24, you already know that 8 times 8 is equal to 64. So this one is easy. Square root of 64 is equal to the square root of 8 times 8. Okay, therefore the answer is 8. You can move forward to 8 or you can write down square root of 8 square and the answer is 8 because we simplify these two, square root and the square. Okay, now it comes to B. 441. 441, you don't know what is the number to get 441, right? So what you do is you are going to use the factor tree. How are we going to get 441? There can be a few methods. So for example, I show it to you here because it's a 1 at the back. So I'm going to try to use 3. 3 times 1 equal to 441. This one don't use calculator. I just show it to you because I already know. I just show it to you how to get a 441. So it's multiplied by 147. Okay, so we multiply by 147 times 3, we get 441. 3 is a prime number already, so we stop here. Now we continue with this part. To get 147, you can see the number pattern, 1, 4, and a 7. So I'm going to use a 7 here. 7 times 2, 14. 7 times 1, 7. Again, 7 is a prime number, so we stop there. So continue with 21 here. So 3 times 7, 21. These two also prime number. So we stop here already. Then we know that 441 is equal to 3 times 7 times 3 times 7. So this one is already in two identical groups. Easy. That means it is equal to 21 times 21. When they ask you to find the square root, you just add all in square root. So when you add it on the left, we also add it on the right. All of this, we have to add it. So which means when you continue the calculation down here, it is the square root of 21. You see we have 121, 221, means it is 21 squared. Okay, when you simplify it, cancel the square root with the squared, we will have the answer of 21. So square root of 441 is 21. Okay, you have to apply the prime factorization method. Up to you. You are going to use the factor tree or you are going to use the prime factorization. You also can use the repeated division method if you want. Okay, so we move on. Okay, so you can see here, this is what is given in your book. The calculation is a bit different, so extra knowledge for you lah. They do the calculation using 9 multiplied by 49. So 3 makes a 9, 7 makes a 49. And then again, the grouping is 3 times 7, 3 times 7. So you get this. Okay, so they show all the calculation like this first, and then we'll continue with square root of 441 is equal to square root of 21 times 21 is equal to 21. also can. Okay, that's why I said you have a few way to get the answer. Okay, now we look at the next example here. Example 6. Find the value of each of the following without using a calculator. So you got to learn to calculate it without using the calculator. A. Square root of 4 over 25. So for all of this question over here, you got to recall back what you have learned in the previous lesson regarding the perfect square. The first perfect square is 1. Second perfect square, 4. Third perfect square, 9. Hopefully you still remember, followed by 16, 25, 36, 49,
64,
64,
81,
81,
100,
100,
121,
121. After that,
144,
144, correct. After that,
106,
9. After that,
96,
225.
225.
Okay, very good. You still remember that. So at least you got to memorize 15 of it. So from here, you can see all of the number given will always be the perfect square. 4 over 25. So we know that 4 over 25 is equal to, how to get 4? It is 2 times 2. Okay, 2 times 2, we get 4. How to get 25? 5 times 5, we get 25. Okay, therefore, it is equal to the square root of 2 over 5 in bracket squared, because we have 2 over 5 here. Okay, then you simplify it, the square root cancel with the square. So the answer is 2 over 5. Okay, now I want you to bear in mind one thing here. You check this one. Is the square root of 2 over 5 squared equal to the square root of bracket 2 over 5 squared? Are they the same? Think about it. Are they the same?
Yes.
Thank you for your answer. The answer is no. Okay. Now, why they are not the same? You got to bear in mind over here. That's why you have to put a bracket next time. This part here is 2 squared. It represents the square root of 4. But then the 5 is not squared, so still the same. And then for this one here, it is equal to the whole thing is squared, which is 2 over 5. The whole thing multiplied by 2 over 5. So we will get the answer of the square root of 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 5 is 25. So you can see without and with the square, the bracket, the answer is different. Okay, because the square over here is just referring to the 2, but the square over here is referring to the whole 2 over 5. Are you okay, class?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. So make sure that when you solve problem in fraction, you must put them in brackets. Okay, so now we move on to the second question. This one, if you don't understand, you refer to the video recording that I will send later on. You can play back and revise one more time. Okay, now we look at B. Okay. B is square root of 2, 7 over 9. Okay, so this one is a mixed number. Okay, whenever it comes to a mixed number, you need to change it into improper fraction. So I'm going to change it into improper fraction first. Oh, I dragged the picture down already. I move it up back. Okay, this one also move up first. B, so I'm going to change 2, 7 over 9 into improper fraction. So 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 7, 25.
25.
Then you can see 25 and 9, you see? 9, 25, they are all the perfect square. So easy, it is equal to the square root of 5 times 5. To get the 9, 3 times 3. So it's 5 over 3 times 5 over 3. Therefore, when you continue with the working, it will be 5 over 3 in bracket squared. Then you cancel the square root with the squared. So the answer, the final answer is 5/3. Okay, but then if you look at the answer here, 5/3 is improper fraction. So you cannot leave your answer in that way. You have to simplify your answer in the simplest form. The simplest answer is 1/2/3. That's the last answer. Okay, now we move on to question C. 27/48. So if you look at 27 and 48, they are not in the category of the perfect square. I can't find 27. I also can't find 48. There must be something wrong, right? Okay. Actually, nothing wrong. So if you see this kind of question, when they ask you to find the value, for sure the question can be solved. How to solve it? First, we need to simplify it. Okay, so square root of 27/48. You need to think of the number that can simplify it. Okay, both number can be simplified by using 3. 3 times 9, 27. 3 times 1, 3, 1, 3. We have 18 remain. 3, 6, 18. So 9 and 16 is in the perfect square now. We can solve it. Okay, so it is equal to 9/16, the square root. Continue, it is the square root of 3/4 times 3/4. Okay, continue, it is the square root of 3/4 in bracket squared. Then simplify the square root with the square. So the answer is 3/4. Are you okay, class?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. So I continue with the last part here, which is 0.36. Okay, how do we get the answer for the 0.36 over here? Now I continue on the right. Okay, this part. 0.36. In the earlier example just now, I've already told you if you have a 0.5 squared, meaning that the decimal places, when you multiply, you will have 2 decimal places. It is 0.5 times 0.5 becomes 0.25, 2 decimal places. Okay, so when they ask you to find the square root of 0.36, meaning that when it goes back to the answer, you see square root of 0.36 and square root of 0.25 over here. If I change square root of 0.25 here, they have the same decimal places. If I ask you to find the square root of 0.25, the answer will have 1 decimal places. Okay, so you get 0.5. So for this one, it is actually equal to, 36, right? 36 is the perfect square, this category here. So we must have the number 6, which is the square root of 0.6 times 0.6. It is equal to 0.6 squared. Okay, so simplify the square root with the squared. Again, Noini, can you off your speaker, off your mic? Noini? Thank you. Sorry, I don't want to disturb the rest. So from here, after you simplify, the answer that you get is 0.6. Are you okay, class?
Yes.
Let you get something. If the question asks you to find out what is the square root of 0.0036, simple. You see, you have 4 decimal places. The answer that came out later on will be 2 decimal places, right? Which will be 0.06 times 0.06, the square root of it. So it is equal to the square root of 0.006. Sorry, extra already. 0.006 squared. Cancel, cancel. You get 0.06. Okay? Make sure you notice this. The answer or the answer over here, it double up. So you see 1 decimal place becomes 2 decimal place. 2 decimal place becomes 4 decimal place. If I have, let me see, 0.000001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you have to think of the answer. It is actually double up, right? So make sure you know how to separate it. This one separate into two decimal places. This one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry, cannot be 9. 8 lah. I make it an 8. 3, 6 like this. So you separate it, becomes half. 1, 2, 3, 4. The answer that you get will be 4 decimal places times 4 decimal places. Okay, So let's see the next one. This one you will have exercise later on. Okay, so if you look at your book here, you also notice there is an alternative method. So 0.36 is also equal to 36 over 100. This one is also equal to 36 over 100. You can change it into fraction and you get the answer later on. So 36 and 100 both are perfect squares. Okay, when you find out the answer, it is equal to 6 over 10 times 6 over 10. So you change it into this working, cancel the square root with the square. The answer is 6 over 10. It is also equal to 0.6. So both methods are acceptable. It's up to you which one you want to choose. Either you want to use this alternative method by changing the decimal into the fraction first, or you can go straight away to find out the answer in the decimal form like this. Okay, so let's see the next one. 3 after 3.1D. Okay, I move one more thing now. Again, we are going to continue using the calculator. Determine the square root of a positive number using technological tool, meaning using the calculator. Yeah, where does it lost? Okay, this one. So you can see they ask you to press what over there, but I'm going to show you. Take out your calculator again. We do it slowly. Press AC or on here to cancel everything. Okay, so we are going to try to press the square root of 29 because you can see 89, not 29, 89. 89 is not a perfect square, right? So we cannot get the answer easily unless it is 81. Square root of 81, you get 9. But then square root of 89, you have to use the calculator. So we are going to make use of this button. Can you see this button, class? This button,
Yes.
this button, that's the square root button. Okay, so what you do is you are going to press the square root button come first, and you press 8 and 9. Then you press the equal sign. So you get 9.433981132. Okay, they just simplify it into two decimal places. You can see in your textbook here. So you get 9.43. Okay, we press the next one, square root of 154.7. So cancel everything again. Again now, you press the square root button, press 154.7, and then you press the equal button. So you get 12.4378 and so on. They simplify here, 7, you add 1 to the left, becomes 12.44, two decimal places. Okay, and then we are going to press the last one here, the square root of 6/2 over 7. So make use of a calculator. 6/2 over 7 is actually a mixed number. Okay, if you are going to press this button here, then you can see the one on top, this one. You are going to press shift. Shift this, then you get the answer. So I'm going to press shift, see what happened to mine. Mine, I cannot show you anything because mine is the old method of calculation, the old types of calculator. So if yours you have it, then you continue with it. Okay, but before you press this button, cancel everything first. Because we need the square root, you press the square root. Okay, then you press this button by pressing shift this. So what am I going to do if I'm the normal calculator? I'm going to use the A, B stroke C. If you have, some of you have this button, then the function is like this one. So I'm going to press 6. The old calculator, you press this one. So I'm pressing this one, 2. And then I press it again, one more time, 7. So this means 6, 2 over 7, like this. It's a mixed number. Then straight away you press the equal button. You get 2.5071 and so on. So simplified it, you will get 2.51, 2 decimal places. Are you okay, class? Do you have any question?
No.
No question, huh? All of you can do it, huh?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Calculator. Okay. If you don't have calculator, I'm going to send the link to you later on. You can install it in your laptop like mine here. Okay. You want to have it or not? No answer. No answer meaning no. Never mind. Later on, I'm going to send the link to you. Okay. You can install
Yes.
later. Okay. Thank you. So that's all for the lesson here. Later on, you go to GC. I've already posted the not Google form. I think I don't remember. How come only 39 take attendance only? I'm supposed to have more than that, right? It's supposed to be 44. Make sure you take your attendance. I remind to you again. Okay, so if you go to your GC later on, in your chapter 3, you're going to see these squares and square roots. Okay, so I want you to solve the answer in the Google form here. This is what you can see. Just want to let you know in the, let me see which question. This question here, you can see the square root because we cannot type the square root properly. So for the first one here, square root of 21. Okay, we cannot type over here properly. So this indicate is a square root, this one. Okay, so later on you answer the question and then, not this one, sorry. You answer the question and choose properly for the answer. Okay, so that's all for today. I'll see you in the next lesson, which is next Monday at 11:30 class. Okay, see you on
Okay.
Monday.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
madam.
Thank you,
Thank you,
madam.
Thank you,
madam.
madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Bye.
madam.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, madam. Bye,
Bye.
madam.
Bye. Bye. Mhm.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye, madam.
Bye.